You know, sometimes the hardest thing to do in life isn't to chase your dreams. It's to let go. Let go of people who weigh you down, who take your energy, who make you feel small. We've all been there. We've all had people in our lives who shouldn't be there. But here's the truth. If you want to grow, if you want to evolve, sometimes you need to silently cut them out. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, oh no, but trust me, it's necessary. These 7 types of people, they won't just hold you back, they will destroy your peace. And what happens when they're gone? You'll be unstoppable. So let's talk about who these people are and why you need to cut them out for good. There are people in your life who will leave you feeling drained, exhausted, and emotionally depleted every single time you interact with them. They're the energy vampires, the ones who can take the life right out of you without even realizing it. They thrive on negativity, drama, and chaos, and what they don't understand is that they are taking more than just your time. They're stealing your peace, your happiness, and your potential. You've experienced it, right? You meet someone and for the first few moments they seem like they could be an interesting connection. You start sharing things, opening up, and before you know it, their problems, their constant need for attention, and their toxic energy are weighing down on you. Every time you try to rise, to be positive, to push through the challenges in your life, they pull you right back into their vortex of complaints and negativity. It's like trying to swim towards the shore while someone holds you underwater. Maybe it's that friend who always calls you when they're upset, always needing you to listen to their endless rants about how nothing's going right. They make you feel like you're their therapist, constantly listening to their problems without ever giving you a moment of relief or support in return. They unload their burdens onto you, and while you're trying to find your way, they're stuck in the same patterns, refusing to take responsibility for their own lives. They expect you to carry their weight. They'll never understand that this is not a one-sided relationship. You can't constantly give and expect to remain full. Or maybe it's the colleague who drains your energy every day at work. They complain about everything, about the job, about the boss, about the projects, about life itself. And it feels like they're feeding off your good mood. You walk into work, ready to take on the day, only to have them rip you down with their pessimism and criticisms. As if their mission is to see the worst in everything. And the moment you try to lift them up, they pull you back down with them. The truth is, energy vampires are emotional black holes, and they don't know how to fill themselves. They will keep asking for your energy until there's nothing left to give, and they won't even thank you for it. They'll drain you dry and move on to the next person, leaving you empty and wondering why you feel so lost, so out of touch with your own power. But here's the kicker. You don't have to put up with it. You have the right to protect your energy. You don't need to sacrifice your peace for someone else's inability to find their own. The worst part, these energy vampires don't just drain you in moments of weakness. They do it subtly. They convince you that you owe them your time, your attention, your care. They make you feel guilty for not being there for them 24/7. It's manipulation at its finest. They've mastered the art of making you believe that if you walk away, you're abandoning them, when in reality, all they're doing is draining you until there's nothing left for yourself. You might wonder, why do I feel guilty for cutting them off? You may feel like you're being selfish, like you're abandoning a friend or a family member or a co-worker in need. But here's the reality. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you do not have. And the longer you stay connected to these energy vampires, the more they take from you. The more they deplete your spirit. If you want to grow, if you want to rise above your challenges, you need to surround yourself with people who uplift you, who support you, who inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Imagine being surrounded by people who push you to reach your highest potential, people who don't pull you down with their endless complaints, people who bring positivity, encouragement, and a sense of peace into your life. That's the power of choosing to protect your energy. When you cut out the energy vampires, you open up space for the right people to enter, people who will give you more than they take, who will elevate your spirit and make you feel like you can conquer the world. If you continue to allow these vampires into your life, you're choosing to live in a constant state of depletion. But if you make the brave choice to walk away, you are choosing to prioritize your well-being, your happiness, and your growth. The beauty of cutting out the energy vampires is that it's a choice that empowers you. It's not a selfish act, it's a necessary one. Because if you don't protect your energy, who will? It's your life, your happiness, and your journey. You have the right to choose who gets to be a part of it. And the ones who steal your energy, they don't deserve to be there. There are people in your life who will never believe in your dreams. They are the ones who stand on the sidelines, constantly casting doubt, questioning your every move, and reminding you of all the reasons why it won't work. These are the naysayers. The ones who see your potential but refuse to acknowledge it. They look at you, and instead of encouraging you to chase your goals, they look for reasons to hold you back. They tell you that your ideas are impossible, that your dreams are too big, and that you should be content with what you have. But let me tell you this, the dreams that scare them are the dreams you should be chasing. It's like when you first decide to start a business. Everyone around you might say, that's risky. Don't you know how many people fail? They'll give you statistics and stories of how dreams like yours don't come true. They'll tell you to play it safe, to follow the conventional path, and to settle for what society deems acceptable. But deep inside, you know you were meant for more. You have that fire, that spark that refuses to be extinguished by fear. Yet, these naysayers are right there with their cold water, ready to put out your flame. They don't see what you see, because they haven't walked your journey. They haven't felt your heart pound with excitement when you think about your future. And then there are those who question your goals in your personal life. Maybe you've decided to take a leap, to make a bold change, to step out of your comfort zone. You feel like it's the right time to invest in yourself, to start a new chapter, but all you hear are the voices of those who don't understand your vision. Why are you doing this? You already have a good life. Why take such a risk? They'll ask. They'll make you feel like you're foolish, like you should just settle for good enough. When in reality, good enough is a death sentence for your soul. Greatness is what's calling you, but the naysayers are always there to push you back toward mediocrity. It's even harder when the naysayers are the people closest to you. Your family, your friends, the ones who are supposed to support you no matter what. But even they might not understand. They love you, but their love is rooted in fear. Fear of seeing you fail, fear of you stepping out into the unknown, fear of you being more than they ever dared to be. They don't want you to get hurt, so they try to protect you by keeping you small. They tell you that dreams are meant to be safe, not wild. That success comes through stability, not risk. But these words come from their own insecurities, not from a place of love. Then there's that colleague who always dismisses your ideas at work. Every time you try to present something innovative, they shoot it down with a quick, that'll never work, or it's been done before. They don't want to see you succeed because they're afraid you might outshine them. The truth is, naysayers come in many forms. Some are direct and some are passive-aggressive. They have no idea how powerful your dreams are because they've never dared to dream for themselves. They are stuck in a box that they built around themselves. And they want to make sure you stay in that box with them. But here's what you need to understand. Their doubts are not your doubts. Their limits are not your limits. Their fears are not your fears. The only thing that should matter to you is your vision. If you listen to the naysayers, you will stay in that box forever. You will play small, live small, and dream small. And what a tragic life that would be. It's as if you've been given a beautiful, limitless canvas. But the naysayers are trying to restrict your creativity, forcing you to paint within the lines. Here's the truth. The bigger your dreams, the louder the naysayers will be. Why? Because people who are afraid to dream will never understand your willingness to leap. They will always be ready with a million reasons why you can't do something. But every no they give you is just one step closer to the yes you'll find within yourself. It's their doubts that will fuel your determination. It's their negativity that will ignite your drive. Don't let them rob you of your dreams. Don't let them make you doubt yourself. You were not made to fit in their world of possible. You were made to break barriers, to shatter ceilings, and to create a world that's uniquely yours. When they tell you it can't be done, that's when you double down on your belief that it absolutely can. When they say you're too much, too big, too bold, that's when you say, watch me. Because you know deep in your soul that you were born to soar. And nothing, not even the naysayers, can take that away from you. There are people who thrive on chaos. They need drama in their lives to feel alive, to feel like something is happening, even if it's not the right kind of happening. These are the drama seekers. The ones who seem to bring conflict and unnecessary stress into every situation. They are the ones who will turn a simple conversation into a confrontation, a mild disagreement into an all-out battle. They will stir up trouble where there is none and create emotional hurricanes just to feel the rush of being at the center of attention. And the worst part? They will drag you into their world of turmoil, making you feel like you're caught in a storm that wasn't even yours to begin with. Have you ever had a friend who's constantly involved in some sort of crisis? No matter how calm and peaceful things are around them, they'll somehow find a way to make it dramatic. They'll call you with a story that's blown out of proportion, telling you about how someone hurt them, how something went wrong, how everything is falling apart. But when you look closely, the problem might not be as catastrophic as they make it seem. It's like they live for the theatrics. They want you to feel their drama, to join in their emotional roller coaster. And if you don't, they make you feel guilty for not being there to support them. What they don't realize is that by dragging you into their mess, they are slowly suffocating your peace, your ability to think clearly, and your ability to focus on your own goals. You know the type, the one who stirs up fights at the slightest provocation, the one who can take something so small, like a comment or a misunderstanding, and turn it into a full-blown argument. They don't know how to let things go. They can't move on from petty issues, and they expect you to take sides. They want you to be involved, to feel their anger, to carry their frustrations. And even though they might not say it out loud, their goal is to keep you in a constant state of stress, because for them, that's where they feel important. When there's drama, they are the center of attention. When there's conflict, they are the ones everyone looks at. The problem is, the more you get involved, the more they feed off your energy. They want your emotional investment. They feed on the chaos. And the moment you give them that, you're allowing them to control your emotions. It can also happen at work. There's always that colleague who creates unnecessary drama, who wants to make every little issue seem like a massive crisis. They'll talk behind people's backs, stir up gossip, and try to pull you into the conflict, even if you don't have anything to do with it. They thrive on making things difficult, on making problems out of opportunities. Every little setback, every minor mistake becomes a catastrophe in their eyes. They want to keep everyone in a constant state of unrest, because that's how they feel valued. They want to know that their life isn't boring, that there's always something to talk about, even if it's negative. They want to see the world through a lens of conflict, and they expect you to see it the same way. But here's the truth, you don't have to be part of their drama. You are not required to carry their emotional baggage or to engage in the constant battle they create. You have the power to step back, to disengage from the toxicity they try to pull you into. In fact, the more you engage with their drama, the more you become a part of it. And the more you let them drag you into their world, the more you lose your own sense of peace and purpose. Imagine this. You have a vision for your life. You have dreams, goals, things you want to accomplish, relationships you want to build. But every time you take a step forward, someone in your life pulls you back into their chaotic world. They distract you from your focus with their endless crises and petty problems. You find yourself caught in the drama they've created, unable to make progress on your own journey. And over time, you begin to realize, this isn't your fight. You don't need to take part in their mess. You can walk away. Choose peace and focus on your own growth. The key is this: your energy is valuable. The more time you spend in drama, the less time you have to invest in the things that truly matter to you. When you stop engaging with drama seekers, you make space for the people who add value to your life. Those who lift you up, who inspire you, who encourage you to be the best version of yourself. You get to choose your battles, and not every fight is worth your time. These drama seekers will continue to thrive in chaos as long as they have an audience. But you don't have to be that audience. You can step back, take a deep breath, and focus on what truly matters. You can find peace in your own life, no matter how loud the world around you gets. Because at the end of the day, you are in control of your emotions. And you have the power to choose not to engage in the chaos, to rise above it, and to stay focused on the calm, beautiful life you're creating for yourself. There are people who come into your life not because they want to genuinely share a connection with you, but because they see what you can offer. They're the users, the ones who take from you without giving anything in return. They come around when they need something, whether it's your time, your resources, or your energy. The moment they've gotten what they wanted, they vanish, leaving you feeling empty, drained, and used. They are opportunistic, and they don't think twice about it. They might come across as charming, they might be the life of the party, but deep down, their intention is always to extract what they can from you, often without any regard for what you might need in return. Imagine this scenario. You have a friend who always reaches out to you when they need help. Whether it's for a ride, a loan, or just someone to listen, they always seem to show up when it's convenient for them. But when it's your turn, when you need their support or their time, suddenly they're too busy. They won't answer your calls, or they'll give you a half-hearted excuse. It becomes clear that they aren't there for you. They're only there when it suits their needs. They take but never give. This is what it feels like to be used, to be nothing more than a resource for someone else's benefit. Now think about work. There's always that colleague who knows how to make you feel like the go-to person for their problems. They'll constantly ask for your help with their tasks, even though they are perfectly capable of doing it themselves. They've learned how to play on your sense of responsibility, and you end up carrying their load because you don't want to let them down. The moment their task is done, they're gone, leaving you to deal with your own responsibilities and theirs. This kind of behavior drains your energy and time, leaving you with less for your own goals. The users have mastered the art of taking advantage of your goodwill, and they will continue to do so as long as you allow it. The users also show up in relationships. They might appear to be loving and attentive, but when you look closer, you realize that their affection is conditional. It's based on what they can get from you. They might love the way you listen to them, the way you care for them, the way you give them your time and energy, but when it's time for them to reciprocate, they pull away. Their love is transactional, always based on the balance of what you can give and what they can take. They don't support your dreams the way you support theirs. They don't invest in you the way you invest in them. They love you for what you can offer, not for who you truly are. But here's the thing. You are not a tool to be used. You are not someone's personal ATM, a therapist on call, or an endless well of energy to be drained. You have your own dreams, your own life, and your own ambitions. Your time and your resources are valuable. The moment you realize that, you start to see the users for what they truly are. People who don't value you, but only see what you can do for them. And when you start seeing them for what they are, that's when you start to take your power back. It's not easy to stand up to the users. They will manipulate you, make you feel guilty, or use your emotions to make you believe that helping them is the right thing to do. They'll play on your kindness, make you feel like you're being selfish for wanting to take a step back. But let me tell you this, setting boundaries is not selfish. It's a form of self-respect. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to give everything you have just because someone asks. You have the right to protect your time and energy, to say no, and to prioritize your own needs. The more you allow people to use you, the more you lose yourself in the process. Imagine being the person who every time they need help turns to you. At first, you're happy to help because that's who you are, generous, caring and selfless. But over time, you realize you've been giving and there's nothing left for yourself. You've drained your own cup and now you're running on empty. The users don't notice because they've already moved on to the next person to take from. It's a cycle of exhaustion and it's up to you to break it. You don't have to give all your energy to people who don't appreciate it. You don't have to feel obligated to help those who would never do the same for you. There's a way to be kind, to help others and to love people, but it has to come from a place of balance. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you allow yourself to be drained by users, you'll find yourself empty, with nothing left to give to the people who truly matter. The ones who value you, the ones who support you, and the ones who appreciate your presence. So learn to recognize the users in your life, and when you do, don't be afraid to walk away, to say no, and to protect your energy. You are worthy of relationships and connections that are built on mutual respect, love, and support. And if you can't find that, then you're better off alone, focusing on your dreams, your goals, and the things that truly matter. Never let anyone take what is rightfully yours. Your time, your love, and your energy. You are not here to be used. You are here to live fully, to give to those who give back, and to grow into the best version of yourself. There are people who will always let you down, no matter how many chances you give them. They promise to show up, they make grand commitments, but when the time comes, they are nowhere to be found. They're the unreliable ones, the ones who never keep their word. They say what you want to hear, but their actions never align with their words. You can rely on them in theory, but when it really matters, they will disappoint you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone promised they would be there for you, whether it was to help with a task, to attend an important event, or simply to be by your side in a time of need? You made plans, you trusted them, and you believed in their commitment. And then the day arrived, and they were nowhere to be found. No call, no explanation, just silence. And the worst part is, when you try to reach out, they have excuses ready, excuses that sound rehearsed, excuses that never seem to be true. They let you down, not just once, but time and time again. This happens in every area of life. Think about work. You have that colleague who promises to handle an important task, and you trust them because they've given you their word. You're confident that the job will get done, only to find out later that they didn't follow through. Maybe they gave you some flimsy excuse, or maybe they didn't even apologize. But the outcome is the same. You end up picking up the slack and fixing the problem they caused. In that moment, you realize that their unreliability has cost you time, effort, and possibly even your reputation. You've given them the benefit of the doubt, but they've shown you that they're not dependable. Or maybe it's a friend, someone who you've been there for countless times, you've helped them through difficult situations, you've supported them when they needed it most, and you've always shown up for them. But when it's your turn to need support, they're nowhere to be found. They don't return your calls, they don't offer a helping hand, and when they finally show up, they act like nothing's wrong. You realize in that moment that they were never truly there for you. They were only there for themselves, to take from you when it was convenient. The truth is, being unreliable is a sign of disrespect. When someone constantly lets you down, they are telling you that your time, your energy, and your needs don't matter. They're showing you that they have no regard for your plans or your well-being. They make empty promises and then break them without a second thought. And the worst part? They don't even seem to care. It's like they expect you to accept their unreliability as a part of who they are. Like you should just forgive them every time because that's just how they are. But here's the thing. You don't have to tolerate it. You don't have to keep making excuses for them or try to convince yourself that maybe next time will be different. You have the power to choose who you allow into your life. And you don't have to give your energy to people who can't keep their word. Your time is precious, and you don't have to waste it on people who are not committed to you. Imagine you're trying to build something important in your life, whether it's a career, a relationship, or a personal goal. You rely on the people around you to support you, to help you along the way, to be there when you need them. But when they let you down, it's like a weight is added to your shoulders. You have to work harder to cover for their shortcomings, to compensate for their lack of effort. And with each disappointment, you start to lose faith, not just in them, but in people in general. It can make you question whether it's worth trusting anyone at all. But let me tell you this, you don't have to carry the weight of their failure. You can choose to surround yourself with people who are reliable, who keep their promises, who respect your time and your energy. It's not about expecting perfection, but about setting the standard for what you will accept in your life. You deserve to have people around you who value their commitments, who show up when they say they will, and who treat you with the same respect you give them. It's easy to fall into the trap of giving someone endless chances, of thinking that maybe, just maybe they'll change. But deep down you know that actions speak louder than words. And the truth is, someone who is unreliable won't change until they want to. They won't change until they realize that being dependable is not just about saying the right things, but about showing up, doing the work, and following through. And if they can't do that, then it's time to move on. Remember, you are the standard. If you hold yourself to a high level of integrity, of follow-through, of dependability, then you deserve the same from others. Don't settle for people who can't keep their promises. Don't let their unreliability steal your peace. Take your power back and invest your time and energy into relationships that nourish you, that support you, and that show you the respect you deserve. You are worthy of people who are there when they say they will be, who stand by their word, and who value your trust. And when you stop allowing the unreliable to take from you, you make space for the people who will lift you up, who will be there when you need them, and who will always show up. There are individuals who will repeatedly let you down, no matter how many times you give them your trust. They may promise you the world, but when the moment arrives for them to deliver, they vanish or fail to follow through. It's a painful realization to accept. But these are the unreliable ones. The ones who cannot be counted on no matter how hard you try. They say all the right things, make all the right promises, but when the time comes to prove their words, they disappear or give excuses that never seem to hold any weight. Their unreliability becomes a constant burden, leaving you to question why you ever placed your trust in them in the first place. Think about a time when you've been let down by someone who promised to help you, someone you depended on to show up when it mattered most. Maybe it was a friend who said they'd be there for an important event in your life, a birthday, a celebration, or a tough time you were going through. You made the effort, you counted on them to be there, and when the day arrived, they didn't show. Not only did they leave you hanging, but when you reached out to them, you were met with excuses or silence. The promises they made to you meant nothing, and all of a sudden, you're left alone with your expectations shattered. It's not just a one-time occurrence either. The pattern repeats itself. They may apologize, swear they'll do better next time, but next time comes and they fail again. This unreliability isn't just a nuisance. It can have a serious emotional impact. Think about a colleague who always assures you that they'll complete their part of the work. You depend on them to follow through so that you can meet a deadline or achieve a shared goal. But when it's time for them to step up, they're nowhere to be found. Maybe they don't respond to your messages, or they give you half-hearted excuses about being too busy. Meanwhile, you're stuck picking up the pieces of their failure, working overtime, and trying to salvage what little remains of the opportunity. It's draining. You realize that you can't count on them to do their part, and you start feeling resentful, questioning why you've been so generous with your time and trust. What about relationships? So often we place our faith in people we believe are reliable, only to watch them let us down repeatedly. It's a partner who promises to be there for you, to support you through thick and thin, but when things get tough, they disappear. They may not be there when you need them emotionally or physically. They promise to help you with something, but then they get distracted by their own needs and forget about the commitments they made to you. Their failure to show up, time and time again, eats away at the trust and connection you once shared. You start to feel invisible, as if your feelings and needs don't matter at all. You start questioning your own worth, wondering why you're constantly treated this way. The unreliability chips away at your self-esteem, making you feel less than you are. But here's what you need to understand. You do not deserve to be treated like this. You don't deserve to carry the weight of someone else's failure, to pick up their slack, or to constantly be the one who holds the relationship or situation together. You are worthy of people who keep their word, who show up, who make an effort to be there for you when they say they will. It's about integrity, and you should demand it from the people in your life. It's not just about words. It's about actions, follow through, and trustworthiness. Here's the painful truth. When someone is unreliable, they are showing you that you don't matter. They make promises because they know it's what you want to hear, but they don't feel the responsibility of keeping them. They are only thinking of themselves, and when the pressure comes to deliver, they back out, leaving you to deal with the consequences. This is not a relationship, not a friendship, and definitely not a partnership. It's a one-sided effort that leaves you exhausted, disappointed, and hurt. Think about the toll this takes on your mental and emotional well-being. Every time you trust them and they fail you, you start to doubt yourself. You may question your judgment, your decisions, and even your worth. But I want to remind you that their unreliability is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. It's not your fault that they can't keep their promises. You are not the problem. So it's time to let go of the notion that maybe they'll change. Stop holding on to the hope that they'll suddenly start keeping their word. They may apologize, they may promise to do better, but until their actions match their words, they will continue to let you down. The more you tolerate their unreliability, the more they will continue to take advantage of your trust. It's time to stop waiting for change and start protecting your peace. You have the right to demand consistency and reliability in your relationships, in your friendships, and in your professional life. You do not need to settle for someone who constantly disappoints you. Take a step back, reevaluate the people you allow into your life, and ask yourself if they are truly reliable. Are they showing up? Are they keeping their promises? If not, it's time to let them go and make space for people who respect your time, your energy, and your trust. You are worthy of relationships built on honesty, accountability, and follow through. You deserve to be surrounded by people who don't just say the right things, but do the right things too. There are people who will try to manipulate you, often in the most subtle and insidious ways. They are not the ones who ask directly for what they want, but rather they play on your emotions, your empathy, and your weaknesses. They twist the truth, make you feel guilty, or even make you believe that you are the one who owes them something. The manipulators are the ones who make you feel responsible for their problems. The ones who can make you question your own judgment and values. They are so skilled at it that you might not even realize what's happening until it's too late. Have you ever been in a situation where someone makes you feel bad about something even though you did nothing wrong? Maybe it's a friend who makes you feel guilty about not spending enough time with them, even though they've never reciprocated your efforts in the past. Or perhaps it's a colleague who blames you for a project's failure when in reality they failed to do their part. They twist your actions, your words, and the entire situation to make you feel responsible for their mistakes. Over time, this behavior wears you down, and you begin to question your own actions, even though deep down, you know you did nothing wrong. Manipulators thrive on confusion and self-doubt. They are not upfront with their intentions. Instead, they speak in riddles, in half-truths, and in things left unsaid, making you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. They want to keep you off balance, make you second-guess yourself, and keep you in a state of uncertainty. This allows them to have control over you, to dictate the terms of your relationship, and to make you feel like you're the one in the wrong. You might have had an experience where someone used your vulnerability against you. They knew your weaknesses, your insecurities, and they took advantage of that knowledge to get what they wanted from you. Maybe it was a partner who used your love for them to manipulate you into doing things you weren't comfortable with. Maybe it was a family member who guilt-tripped you into doing something for them, even though you knew it wasn't in your best interest. They pull at your heartstrings, making you feel like you owe them something because they're family, because they're friends, or because they love you. They make you feel like you are obligated to meet their needs, even when it comes at the expense of your own happiness or well-being. The danger in this is that manipulators often don't just want something from you. They want to control you. They want to shape how you think, what you believe, and what you do. They want to make you feel like you are powerless, like you can't make decisions for yourself without their approval. They slowly erode your self-confidence, convincing you that you're not capable of making good choices without their guidance. They might use flattery, praise, or affection to draw you in, making you feel special, but it's all part of their strategy to gain control. I've seen so many people give up their autonomy, their independence, and their peace just to make a manipulative person happy. I've seen friends waste their time and energy on relationships where the other person is only interested in what they can get from them, never giving anything back. I've watched colleagues sacrifice their integrity to appease a boss who would never return the favor, all because they were made to feel guilty or inadequate. It's heartbreaking to witness, because the truth is, manipulators will never give you the respect you deserve. They will never appreciate your sacrifices, your love, or your care. They will continue to take and take without ever giving anything in return. But here's what you need to understand. You are not responsible for their happiness, their feelings, or their problems. You do not owe them anything just because they try to make you feel guilty. Their manipulation is a reflection of their own insecurities and needs, not yours. The more you give into their games, the more they will try to control you. You have the power to break free from this cycle, but you need to recognize it for what it is. Manipulation. You need to see that you are worthy of relationship.